Business fraud is getting smarter and business owners are a top target.
From fake emails to payment scams, it's getting harder to spot what's real.
Think it couldn't happen to you? That's exactly what scammers hope.
They're great at looking legit, and it's costing businesses real money.
Before you send that payment or click that link, hit pause.
A few simple habits could save your businesses from a costly mistake.
Running a business means you're juggling a lot. Payments, vendors, employees, basically everything.
And unfortunately, fraudsters are counting on you being busy so they can slip something past you.
Exactly. So today, we're breaking down the most common business fraud scams.
And what you can actually do to stay one step ahead.
From everyday email scams
to payment fraud and treasury risks that can mess with your cash flow. I'm Megan.
And I'm Miriam, and we're here today to help you protect your business. Phishing and email scams are like at the top of everything that's happening. What are tips and tricks that you've seen, and how can we avoid them?
It's really interesting because I think when we talk about the phishing scams and the email scams, we think about that as people receiving them, not businesses receiving them, right? So it's really the same thing as apply, is you're looking to see if there's any inconsistencies in that email. Like if it's supposed to be from a regular vendor that you get, make sure that that's consistent with all of the emails that you've gotten in the past. But I would say that emails are probably the easiest way that you can get compromised, right? Because they're kind of the oldest technology that we use. So I would say always having your text messages as a backup to your email as well, so that if you're getting like a one-time passcode for something, it's not just going to your email that could be compromised and deleted. It's going to your phone too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of businesses see email as that paper trail. Like, I want everything in a paper trail. How much my vendor's charging me, what they're charging me for, or what I'm charging my customers. But then those emails become compromised. So it's like, how do we combat that? How do we make sure that we are not the victim as the business?
So that's a great question, because you don't think about, oh, it's not my email that's being compromised, it's somebody else's. So I would say that if you have a vendor that you get regular payments from, you're doing it monthly, but all of a sudden every 2 weeks now you're getting requests. Have you spoken to your vendor? Have you talked to them? They are rife with fraud. So you want to look at that as the second you send that payment, it's gone. There's no way you're getting those funds back. I mean, I don't want to talk in guarantees, but I can almost guarantee that you won't get a fraudulent wire back. And so that's really important to make sure, do the instructions make sense of who I'm sending it to? Does the amount of my business that I've done with this person, does it make sense? Did it come from an email that all of a sudden my email is compromised? So looking at that source of why am I sending these funds is also really important.
I would say also, like, pick up the phone, call your vendor, and just be like, hey, I just want to go over this invoice. You know, it's one of those things where, yes, it takes a little bit of time, but it can really protect your business. Just taking that extra minute and verifying those instructions before you actually send that payment, whether it's ACH or wire.
Isn't it kind of funny that we forget that picking up the phone is an option anymore with text messages coming through? But yeah, that's going to be the best way to make sure that you're talking to the person you know you're dealing with.
And I would say also, don't use the email or phone number in the email signature. Like, call the number that you know, call the person that you know, verify it that way, because they could also put a fraudulent phone number in said email, and then you're calling the fraudster and they're like, yeah, that information's correct.
And absolutely. I just started working for this company. I'm taking over their billing. Now you have to send it this way to this financial. It happens way more than somebody would think, and more businesses are susceptible to it than they would think as well. So Miriam, we've talked about what fraud looks like after it's occurred. What are some things that a business could look for to prevent it from happening?
So there's a lot of tools within your general online banking system. So there's dual control. That would be where I set up the payment, I draft it, and then you, as the approver, you're basically going to double check my work. You're going to be like, yes, this account number matches, the amount matches, it's good to go. I strongly always recommend that businesses use dual control, because you can catch not even fraudulent mistakes, just little mistakes. You know, maybe you transpose a number. Now it's going to a completely different account. But with fraud, you know, it's like, well, like that looks strange, because you have two people involved. It's not a single point of, you know, input. There's also other things that you can do with your vendor. You can request vendor packets on a regular basis. So maybe every 2 years, let's update your contact information. Let's verify we have the right account number. We have the right, wire instructions. Verify it every few years. Make sure it's up to date. It doesn't seem like it's fraud prevention, but it also helps you be like, okay, well, I just verified your account information 3 months ago. Like, what's changed? And another tip that seems like it's a no-brainer, but it doesn't happen all the time, is check your account on a regular basis. Do not check your account once every 30 days or 45 days. Like, check it on a regular basis. For a business, you should be looking at your account every day. Don't wait until you get your statement to balance your account. Look at it every single day.
I've heard that there's a tool that could prevent check fraud specifically from your account. It's called Positive Pay. Can you tell me a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so Positive Pay is a fraud mitigating service where the business uploads a check file. So it's who they wrote, how much they wrote it for, check number, everything. They upload that into online banking. Everything will clear as normal if it's in their check file. Anything that's not in their check file would actually kick back to them for them to review and say, yes, this is good, I just forgot to input it, or no, stop, this is not a good check.
Gotcha. Yeah, because the people might not realize that there's only a certain amount of time by federal regulation that you can return a check, that you can pull those funds back.
Yeah.
So that's a great tool if something happens.
Exactly. And it's almost immediate. Like, anything that is not in your check file gets presented to you. You say pay or no pay, and you're on your way.
And you're done.
My email's been compromised. They got into my online banking account. Like, what can I do to prevent this from happening again?
So you want to make sure that everything that was added, so contacts, your phone numbers, emails, anything that was added fraudulently needs to be removed immediately. Because if you go through all the steps of reestablishing your account and that fraud phone number is still there, they just immediately have access. So you want to look out for those things, those one-time passwords that you get. We want to make sure that's going to a device that is registered to you. I would say also, if there's a new login to your email, a lot of vendors now have it so that you can get a passcode to your phone, so that's not just somebody that has your password can get into it.
Fraud can happen to any business, but the good news is there's a lot you can do to stay protected.
It really comes down to slowing down, double checking, and putting a few smart safeguards in place.
If you've got questions about protecting your business or tidying up your treasury setup, we're here for you.
And if this was helpful, don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe.
Bye!